Hey guys, we are back with the second set of today. We are with Team Alpha Void and Best Team Oz. Now, I believe these were the two finalists of the August OSSL tournament. So let's get into the picks and bans. I'm joined by Invis. Uh, let's let's take a look at these picks and bans now.
Yeah, so the like you said, being the finalists from last month, we're in for a good set. So interest, I'm interested to see how this turns out. Already, we've got some fairly standard bans across the board. Tristana, Kha'Zix, Zed, all Tristana especially being a very very common ban recently. Kha'Zix and Zed a bit less so, but still fairly common champions and not really surprising to see them banned. Rengar, falling into that same category of, ban worthy if your opposition team are, fairly experienced with it. So Schonfire being targeted with the jungle bans so far.
Yeah, and just the Rengar ban as well, very common. Not too sure as to what we're going to see. I haven't. I'm not sure about what these two teams are known for, but I know that there's some pretty exciting lanes to come. Now, Vibes has locked in the Orianna straight away.
Yeah, Orianna, a very, very safe mid laner. If you were going to first pick any mid laner in the game, it would be Orianna. She really has no bad matchups at all. She has a few champions that she can't do amazingly against, but for the most part, she can just sit in lane and farm, and she's always relevant to her team with that shockwave, and her damage is really high. So, always a very, very strong first pick champion. And if it's a contested pick, get it out of the way as your first pick. And Threshly Sin also fairly strong ambiguous champions that can go into just about any team comp. So no surprise to see those picked up either.
We've got the Zillion being hovered over as well as the Rise.
So Zillion coming back into popularity quite a lot recently. With the 75-80% ban rate at Worlds right now. But the big strength of Zillion, obviously that global passive experience being very, very strong, whether he's played mid lane or support. But the big strength about Zillion often is that he's able to be picked up as a flex pick, being your first pick him in your draft, and you don't really know whether you're going to be putting him mid or support, and you're able to basically decide later depending on what your opponent drafts. So seeing that a bit later in the draft after you've already picked a mid laner in Orianna is a little bit strange, but he's still a very, very strong pick. And also the best team Oz really heavily focused on that magic damage with the Orianna Rise so far. So it'll be interesting to see how they round out their team comp with a Twitch insta-lock, and most likely going to have a physically damage-based jungler in that Jarvan as we see it locked in.
Yeah, and actually, I have been told now, Frey is known for his Zed, and Rengar and Ka are Schonfire's mains.
So yeah, no surprise to see those banned away. The Alistair and Lucian also a bit less common bans, but really Lucian especially being fairly common. Alistair was a common ban, but after receiving a nerf a few patches ago, still a very strong champion, especially in that support role. A bit less strong of a top laner now that his headbutt auto attack are a bit less oppressive. But I'd be interesting to see Shen actually being hovered over right now, and probably not the best matchup into Rise, to be perfectly honest, but a champion we haven't seen much of in quite a while, and it is locked in. So this Alpha Void team composition looking, it's looking to be quite low damage actually in terms of somewhat. Actually, no, I tell lies. I'm just comparing it to what we see. We see Rise, Orianna, Twitch. Just very, very, very high damage, and they're really going to be relying on that Chrono Shift to back them up.
Yeah, and actually, Jimmy has been playing a lot of that Shen in this tournament.
Oh, okay. I hadn't realized that, but yeah. So it's to be perfectly honest, it's really not a good matchup into Rise. Rise being able to use those overloads and those auto attacks, just that range advantage to really bully out Shen. Of course, if Delicious does come up with that Lee Sin, Shen's very good at setting up ganks with with that taunt. But in a strict one-on-one, Rise is going to be able to put a lot of harass down onto Jimmy, and he's going to have quite a bit of trouble. I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually going to max that feint, as opposed to off what you often see of the Vorpal